Greetings everybody, my name is Knightz and welcome back to another video. And as you might know, I'm currently learning slash doing Bukkit, which is developing plugins for Minecraft. And I felt that I want to do a tutorial because I've got some other videos planned, but my PC crashed when I was editing, and then I got really triggered and I couldn't be bothered to do anything else from then. So we are going to start doing a Bukkit tutorial. So this is gonna, it's alright if you don't know Java. It would be good if you had some basic knowledge, but it's alright if you don't, because we'll be learning it through Bukkit. So the first thing you want to do is download Eclipse. I'll put the link in the description. Just download the program and then install it. Okay, so once you've done that, we open it. So mine looks a bit different to the normal one. Because I'm using the dark theme. I think it's in Window, then Preferences. It's somewhere in here. Look around. But yeah, and so when you first go on, there'll be a thing that tells you where you want your workspace to be. So that's really simple. It's just basically where it saves everything. You can change it to I make plugins or whatever you want, and you can have different ones as well. So now you're in Eclipse. First thing we want to do is right click and go New Java Project. Okay, so what should we call this? Let's call it YouTube Tutorial. As you can see here, it's saving it in my workspace because I just use the default one because it's easier. So then we go to Finish. You probably should use Java 8 since that's the most widely used one now. No one really uses Java 7 much anymore. So yeah, yes. Okay, finish. Okay, so now we can open it here, and we've got not very much in it. So if you click on the SRC folder, then you right click, New, Package. Okay, so this is sort of like, I suppose, if you imagine that the project, YouTube Tutorial here, is the whole computer, this is like a folder. If you imagine YouTube Tutorial is the whole plugin, this is a subfolder for it. So it's got to be called something, it's like a reverse domain name, so com.google, yeah, com.google, and then whatever you want. But you don't have to use that. You could use, I think you can use com.gmail at, okay, never mind, but it doesn't have to be an actual domain name. You could make it, this is a tutorial, although it doesn't like the word this. Hello. Oh, okay, so it has got to be com or something. Yeah, so com is a tutorial. So it's got to be com or org. But it doesn't have to be an actual existing domain name. So we're just going to make it com.knightsmc.youtube-tutorial because I actually own the domain knightsmc.com. So, free advertising. So now, you'll notice this thing here, it's all white. If you right click on it again, New, Class. Okay, this is where it starts getting fun. So, I'm going to call this Main Class. Okay, so this is opened here. The package will be different to whatever you named this thing, and it will say public class, main class. So before we start doing any stuff, we've got to go back to YouTube Tutorial, right click, go to Properties, then basically we've got to tell Eclipse that we need to use Bukkit or Spigot. So if you go Add External Jars, now, you can either download Bukkit from something, or you can use build tools for Spigot. So I'm using Spigot right now, because, I don't know. Although, actually, yeah, I will use Bukkit. So, once you've run build tools, you go into Bukkit, then Target, then you'll see the shaded one here. That's the one that works for me. Last time I used the non-shaded one, it didn't work, so I would suggest using this one. They just do open, and then OK. Okay, so now you'll notice this reference libraries come up. Basically, it's, as I said, it's saying I want to use the Bukkit stuff, so include it in my code. And this is everything that exists inside Bukkit, but we don't need to know that right now. And you can't access it anyway, don't think. So, let's go back into main class. This is what we've currently got right now. The first thing you want to do is extends Java plugin. So you'll see the red lines coming under it. This just basically means this is the main class and it is the main class of a plugin, which is telling us, because you see here we've hold on, sorry. Yeah. So if you hover over it, import Java plugin, you click that. So this has popped up here. This is just saying, go into the reference library and get the Java plugin thing, so we can use it. Because we've currently got the library, but we haven't taken a book out, if you know what I mean. We've got access to it, but we haven't done anything with it. Okay, so we will just make... Okay, so next thing you want to do... Wait. Okay, so for the first tutorial, let's just do printing some text into the console. I know it's boring, but it'll help in the future. So, if we go at override, I'm pretty sure this means that it overrides the default methods. So then we go public. This just has to be public because I don't know, Bukkit made it, so it has to be. Void, which means the piece of code you're doing doesn't return anything, if you get what I mean. So you could do public say hi and then string message. Then if we do return message length. Basically, yeah, so this is telling it that it returns a number. So, okay, yeah. So, if for now we went, this isn't a normal Java thing. This is a normal Java thing rather than Bukkit. This wouldn't work in Bukkit unless you had some trigger for it, so like a command or an event. So basically, if we did new say hi hello. Why is that not working? Oh right. I don't know. So ignore that. It's just saying that we've got to have something to start it. So, basically, this will import, or no, think of a method, which is this thing here, as like a machine. So we're putting the word hello into it, and it will tell us the, it will return the length of it. However, it technically won't, because, oh, never mind. You get the basic thing. So if we go back to here, a void just means it doesn't return anything. So we go override public void on enable, then brackets, and then curly brackets, and then press enter, and it will do it automatically for you. So on enable is when the plugin starts up. When you first start the server, that means that it will do the certain code here. Yeah, I thought it overrides like a default thing. That's the Java docs, which is sort of like a tutorial. So, right then, let's do log. Wait, oh, I can't remember the log code. Hold on, I used to use a different thing. Okay, you don't really need log, so you can use system dot out dot print ln, and then whatever you want to print. So the plugin is being loaded. Now, admittedly, in your on enable, you won't really need to put a print in because when it automatically does it, it will automatically say like info loading, whatever we called it, YouTube tutorial 8.3 or something, version 8.3. So you don't really need this. However, this would be cool. And then, if we make something that happens on the disable as well, override public void on disable system.out.println. Hello. Wait. Oh god. Didn't mean to do that. Goodbye. There. So, basically, if we go through this, when it turns on, it will say the plugin is being loaded in the console, and when it turns off, it will say goodbye. Okay, so we can't actually make it into a proper plugin just yet. We've got to tell the server how it works. So go back to SRC, right-click it, new, and then file. So this should be called plugin.yml. Now, every plugin has to have this, or it won't work. Finish, and then it should open automatically. I'm using Notepad++ right now, because it's far superior to anything else. Just close down all of these. So, the first thing you need is name. And we will call this YouTube Tutorial Plugin. That's just the name of the plugin that it says when it's loading up, and for various other things like the help command. Then version, we'll use 1.0 because that's what it is right now. It's 1.0. Then you also need a main, which is the main class, the one here that extends Java plugin. A class is this thing here, and it's a file, different files of code, and plugins can have more than one class in them, but we'll get to that in a future episode. So, the main class is, you've got to do the package as well, because you could have different packages. So it's com.knightz.youtube.tutorial.mainClass. Okay, that will tell it that this is what is the main class, which, well, it's the one that extends Java plugin. Then you can also do author, so Knightz, and then I think you also need description. This is a plugin. Okay, so if you save that, there's loads of other things you can do. There'll be a link in the description for like every different thing. So you can have, you need to register commands. So like, help, description, get help. But yeah, that's a bit more complicated. And you can do permissions as well. It's telling stuff. So, we save that. Go back to Eclipse. Now, I think we're ready to start properly. So, if you right-click on YouTube Tutorial, then go to Export, make sure you've got jar file clicked. It's in Java. Next, then put it in the plugins folder of the testing server you've set up, and then name it what you want. So we will call it my first. Wait, no, because it's not my first. YouTube plugin.jar. Then, unless you want future convenience, you can just click finish. Otherwise, click next, and then save the description of this jar in the workspace. So this means it'll just make exporting a bit easier because it saves like all the settings you want for exporting it. So then to save it where you want, you go to browse, you find your project, so we're doing YouTube tutorial, and then you call it like just a jar. So it's just a jar.dardust. Then you do finish, because I'm pretty sure you don't need this at all, because that does it automatically. So finish. Oh no. Okay, it's just because I didn't reload it. Don't worry, it'll work again. There, it's reloaded it now. So that's alright. It's just because it detected that there was changes, but it couldn't read the changes because we hadn't told it to. So now you notice just a jar.desk. If you want to export it in the future, just right click on it, click create jar, and then boom. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to get our testing server open. So, I assume you already know how to create a Minecraft server. This isn't a tutorial for that. You don't need to port forward or anything because it's just a local one. Don't need all these. So yeah, start testing server. That's the one I use. So, let's just wait for this to load. In the meantime, let's get into Minecraft. Okay, it's not open yet. So, oh yeah, I'm working on a factions plugin right now, and it's annoying because the server takes ages to load because I've got to use massive core. No one likes you. Okay, so it's almost done. Right then, if we take a look around the console somewhere, we do have, yeah, we've got YouTube tutorial plugin, so where are you? Aha. If we see, it says here, YouTube tutorial plugin enabling YouTube tutorial plugin v1.0. That's what it does automatically. But if we look here, the plugin is being loaded. Hooray! So we've done our first thing, and then if we do reload, because that will disable it. If we find it somewhere, hold on, I'm looking for it. Okay, right, here. Goodbye. There, you've just printed your first thing into the console. However, your plugin currently does absolutely nothing. So, I imagine what we want to do right now is set up a command. So, like, help for YouTube. But yeah, we want to do that, don't we? So, this is where it gets a bit interesting. Right, hold on, I'm just gonna have to go into a different class for a minute because I forgot. It's hard to remember the thing for the command. So back in a sec. Okay, we're back. I just copied and pasted it. So if we go override again, we don't technically need the override, but then we go. Yeah, this all looks quite intimidating, doesn't it? So basically, this I think. I'm still a bit unsure why it's a boolean, which can be either true or false. It's sort of like there's different types of variables. So you've got like int, byte, char, boolean, stuff like that, string, and yeah. So this is like a method here. It's got the same syntax, public. It's not a void this time, because it has to return something because it's a boolean. It's called onCommand, and then the things you've got to enter to do it are this. Which, so this is called automatically when someone does a command. So command sender is who sent it. The command is the thing you typed. So is the command label. And then this is a list of strings for the arguments. So an argument is like help essentials. The essentials part is an argument. It's a separate bit after the command that specifies something more specific. Ow, that's a tongue twister. Yeah. So we've got this. You can copy this word for word if you want, or you can just if you, I think, hold on. I'm pretty sure if you do implements this command exector, it will tell you to import it, but it will also tell you. Oh no, it won't. Okay. It does in a separate class. Never mind. Just copy this. Copy this. Oh dear. There we go. Import all this stuff. Yes. Right. So, now, what shall we make our command? So, firstly, you do if, bracket, cmd.getName, Or you can do command label equals ignore case. Both of them work fine. It's just I prefer CMD get name because it's a bit shorter. Get name. Then you still got to go equals ignore case. And then let's call it first command. With an opening curly bracket and then press enter. So I'll go through this. CMD.getName. You'll notice this is the thing here. So command is the thing you typed. Or no, kind of. But it's basically saying if the name of the CMD you just typed is first command, then I'm just trying to think what to do. Okay, actually, hold on. Before we do that, oh no, right. Sorry, I'm erring a bit. Right, we need to make sure that the person that typed the command is a player, because it could be the console, and that would do a different thing, because you can't kill the console, or it could be like a command block or something, because you can't give a diamond sword to a command block. So what we want to do here is if sender instance of player. Right, so this looks a little bit complicated. It's basically saying if the sender is a player, then do this. Else, oh no, we won't go into that yet. Firstly, we'll do what we're doing now. So we do player, and then P. That's just the name of whatever you want to call them. So you could do guy who sent the command, although technically you'd use guy who sent. But yeah, so player P equals brackets player sender. Now this still looks a bit complicated. So a player is a type of variable, just like int and string. Then this is the name of the variable. You can call that whatever you want. Then sender, as you can see, still here. And what we did to test if it was a player. And then this player thing here is saying get the player from the sender. Or no, yeah, get a player from the sender. So we've already made sure that it has to be a player. So that it doesn't matter if, well no, it's okay if it's the console. If you get what I mean. Basically, this checks if it's a player, and this gets the player, but it's already been checked, so it can't throw an error, because it might be that it isn't a player, and it's actually the console, and you can't make the console into a player, but it's safe because we've made sure that it's already a player. So let's do p dot send message, enter, and then you typed a command. So if we just, there we go, indent it a little bit. If you do Control A and then Control Shift F, it just auto makes it look nicer. Okay. Now, how about if we want it to do something if you're the console instead? So, else, we go back to our if it's an instance of the player. You can tell because this curly bracket here, if we hover over it, it selects all of that, and it's connected to there, as you can see. So we've got to do it after if it's not a, because we're checking if it's a player, then we need to do something if it isn't. So else, then we're probably going to use more than one line, so we go curly bracket, enter. Then we'll do, because the console can't be sent a message in the Bukkit way, we've got to use system out print line you typed a command from the console. Okay, we're done. Except, as I mentioned before, we need to go back into our plugin.yml over here. Then we need to go commands. Enter boop boop, 2 spaces, although possibly 3 work. Then we'll do first command, bracket again. Then you do a description. This is our first command. That's the description thing is for the help, because AFK, the description of that is in the plugin YML as Mark sits away from keyboard. That's telling the help thing what it is. Then I think that's all you need to do. All this is doing is telling Minecraft that the command actually exists, because otherwise it will say unknown command. So if we refresh that again, then we go just to jar.dardesk, right click, create jar, override it, yes. Then we go into our console and type reload. You'll notice our hello thing is still there. Then we can do first command. And if we press enter, you typed a command from the console. Or let's do it as a player and do first command. You typed a command. There. That's how simple it is to display text. We did that in about 10 lines of code. The return false, it can either be true or false, I think. Pretty sure it doesn't matter. What else? What else should we do now? Let's have a think, hold on. Okay, I've got an idea. Let's add an argument. Let's add our first argument. So, but we'll still make it different for the player and the thing. So, we will do if args, because that's what it's called up here, dot length equals, and then let's say 1. There. That's how simple it is. Basically, that is if we've got one extra thing after it. So currently it still does the same thing because there's nothing to tell it what to do. But yeah, that's if it's one thing after the command. But we've still done it in the instance of the player because we want to make it different for the console. Actually, no, let's not. It's just... Actually, no, we need to, because we need to do stuff to the player still. Right then, so let's do if args, and then you do square bracket 0. Basically, you need to do that because it's a list, which means it has square brackets, because there could be more than one argument. So it's a list of strings, and then we're getting the first one, which Java calls 0 because it starts from 0, equals, or you could do equals ignore case, because then it doesn't matter if you type it in full caps or some caps and stuff. And then we'll do YouTube, then curly bracket, enter. So if the first argument you typed is YouTube, and this won't throw an error because we've already made sure that the argument's length is 1. P dot send message. This is an argument. Then we'll do else if it's not YouTube. P dot send message invalid arguments. Then if it's not one, else. There, because otherwise it would have done the you typed to command even if you typed an argument, and we don't want to. So that's a little bit more complicated, although it's still the basic same principle. Create jar, overwrite it, reload. And there we go, wait for it to reload. Okay, so what was the command? First command, YouTube. This is an argument, otherwise, invalid arguments. Or, you typed a command. There. That's probably the simplest part of Bukkit. So if you don't get that, I would suggest you learn the basic Java syntax now. I would recommend Solo Learn. So they do like online basic tutorials. You can download the app or you can do it online. And that's how I learned basic Java, and it's really, really useful. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. It's free as well. Sololearn.com. SOLOLARN.com. Go to that. Be swag. Right. I think we should possibly make it a tiny bit more fancy. Say, a good donator perk is to allow people to fly in your server, even if they're in survival mode. How, you say? How do you do that? Because, as we know, you can do /fly, and now, even though I'm in creative, I cannot fly. I'm spamming space, but it's just not working. So, basically, Bukkit has a thing that just sets you if you can fly or not. So now I can, because I enabled it again. So, if, let's do, else, actually, I'm assuming you know basic, Java things. So I'm gonna actually change this thing here to, switch, which it's exactly the same as if, but it's just more compacted, and it's better for lots of different, outcomes, rather than doing if, else, if, else, if, else, if, over and over again. So switch args.0. There. So that's saying if args.0. Then we've got case. What was YouTube, wasn't it? Case YouTube. P.send message. You typed YouTube. Then break. Then we can do case. Fly. Colon. P.set. Flying. Enter true. There. P.send message. You can fly now. Then break. Just say it's end of the statement. Then we go default equals P.send message. Invalid arguments. Right. And never mind, we don't need that, I don't think. So, this is exactly the same as doing if, else, if, over and over again. If the args length is 1, look at args0. If it's YouTube, send the message you typed YouTube. Then break just says it's the end of the case. If it's fly, then set them to fly. And if it's neither of those, which is the default value, say invalid arguments. So we'll go create jar, reload. Okay, so what was the command? First command, you typed a command, YouTube, you typed YouTube, and then finally, we'll go into survival so it's more impressive, because as you can see we can't fly right now. Then fly. Oh dear. What seems to be the problem? Cannot make player 5. Get allow flight is false. Oh, okay. It's not set flying, it's can. Oh no. Let's just look fly. What was the thing? Get allow flight. True. Hold on. Oh wait, sets allow flights. True. There, it's not set flying. That will literally mean it just puts you into the air, which we don't want to do. We just want to make it so you can fly. Okay, right. Attempt 2. First command fly. You can fly now, and as you can see, we can fly. How cool is that? That is revolutionary stuff right there. Yeah. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this first episode. Leave any comments if you want me to explain anything else. However, until the next episode, I'm going to set you some homework. So I would like you to make a copy this command, this stuff if you want. I want you to make a basic command, call it whatever you want, but when you type it, it says to you, hello. There. That's all I want. And for the advanced homework, I want you to make it so it tells people, it says to people, hello, you typed as your first argument. So, yeah, have a play around with Java. See if you can figure out how to do that. It'd be quite impressive if you could, since I'm assuming you're here because you want to learn. And if you get it in the first try, that's pretty impressive. So, thank you for watching, and I bid you all farewell. Oh, I know what he's thinking right now. Oh, God! Okay, FPS is getting a bit low. Oh, no, I'm gonna get headed by Nazim.